We're going to do a Bigfoot expedition, and we're doing a search to find out. I've often said that there's no Bigfoot in Indiana, not the northern part anyways. South Indiana, yeah, I can see that. That's up next, close to Kentucky. But up here, I feel like the woods are too sparse. But I've been challenged to figure out and see if we can find out if there is any Bigfoot up in northern Indiana. We're pretty close. We're about an hour away from Michigan. But anyways, I've looked and searched some land, and that's what we're fixing to do now. We're going to do some pre-scouting and see what we can find. So y'all come and join with us. All right. I hope I've got everybody back on. Hope that worked out pretty good. I hope. I told you guys it's a new experiment, guys. I'm trying a new system out for anybody that wants to know, and it's kind of going to throw me off tonight. So yeah, I'm going to mess things up a little bit tonight. Let me say hello to Kim. She's the first one on here tonight. Real Van, hey buddy, I need you to call me again real soon, like. And Captain Cage Free. Uh, Hello, Richard. You're up here with me. Let's see who else is on here. Blue Eyed Northern. I'm glad to see you again, young lady. Brian Barber. Hey, Brian. Glad to see you. Alabama Tide. Let's see who else is on here. Oh, geez. Mr. Athos. Cannot forget Mr. Athos. But anyways, guys, tonight, as you just seen on that video, uh, I go searching. I've got about 3 or 4 guys on here. Uh, I've got about 4 guys on here to help me out with these videos tonight. Anybody else, anybody else out there that wants to come on and give their opinion on what I'm about to show, you are more than welcome to come up here and join us. I don't care if you're a skeptic, detective, just a everyday guy like me or gal. I don't care. I want to hear your opinions if you want to come on. You don't even have to be on camera. You just come on here or use your voice if you want to. I really don't mind. Guys, how are y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Okay.
Doing good, buddy.
For you guys who for you guys who don't know, you see Waylon up there in the left-hand corner. That's my cohort. And you see Richard from BFFG sitting there. And of course, you see me. At the bottom, you see Tom and you see Old Bear. Everybody knows Old Bear. You might not know Tom. Okay. Tom, I've got to introduce him. His name is Thomas Schwinn. He is a Bigfoot researcher or enthusiast, whatever label he wants to go by. But he is now my hunting partner, or I his hunting partner. Let's put it that way. He lives in southern Indiana. I live in northern Indiana. And these two down at the bottom, these knuckleheads, they're the ones that's challenging me to find out if Bigfoot is up here in North Indiana. That's what that first part of the video was all about. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to show the first one of part of what we done. What we done, me and the wife got out and I done some research of using techniques that Obear taught me, talking to Richard about looking for stuff, and Tom, and even Waylon. And they've all tried to help me along this situation. So this is what me and the wife come up with, and we went looking and just to see what happened. I mean, spur of the moment. I don't want to hear nobody saying anything about being set up because this wasn't. All right. So guys, this is the first piece of what my wife found. Okay. Here we go. We're going to do a Bigfoot expedition. All right, guys. I don't know if y'all can see this.
Hey, can you hear me?
That is a arch. Tree's been bent over. There's the base right there. We're checking out this new area, and it goes up and it comes around and it comes down to that point right there where you see the dried up leaves. It's tucked up under, I guess. I can pull on it. It's under that dead limb. Good curiosity. My wife happened to find this, so right here off a trail, which is, she spotted it, and it looks kind of nice, not quite persimmon, but it's right here by what they call the cliffs. I don't know if you can see, but it pretty much goes almost straight down. Down there, I would think, from what I can see, looks like it might be wet down there. I don't know. Plenty of tall trees, that's for sure. This place has got potential. Got potential. Okay, guys, what do you think about that? Then I'm gonna go to Waylon first. Waylon, what do you think about that?
What part was you? Is that pretty close to where you live at, where you're doing your investigation work at?
It's in northern Indiana, is all I'm gonna say. I don't want to give away location because we are going to go back to it, and I don't want no hoaxing, no nothing like that going on. Guys in the chat room, I can't read because I'm going back and forth. So y'all kind of look over me on that one. But anyways, what was you thinking, Waylon, about that?
I was messing with the chat. I was lost. You'd have to do it again. I'm sorry. I was playing three fiddles that time, and I forgot what tune I was playing. Sorry, shit happens. I'm sorry.
Okay, Richard, what's your opinion of it? That'd be you, Richard. Hello?
Right now, there's an issue with audio because I'm getting like 20 conversations going on at one time.
Okay.
I have, even matter of fact, if I stop talking right now, I'm going to hear my conversation again in about 3 seconds. So I can't keep up with what you guys are saying or what's going on right now.
Okay. Okay. All right, Thomas, what do you think?
Well,
I'm gonna have to leave.
It wasn't natural. That's all I'm going to say. It was done. Something made it.
Okay. You any opinions on what it might have made it?
I know squatches do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way it was bent over, and it was.
Is there no way we can fix the audio?
No, I don't know why you got a delay. You can go out and try to
Not
come
a
back
delay.
on.
It's everybody at the same time.
Have y'all got a delay?
I don't have no
I'm not
delay.
getting anything from my end.
Mm. Okay.
All
right. All right. Old Bear, what do you think about that video?
Well, I've seen it, but it's always on a lot larger scale. Hold on a minute. Let me shut this. Does that help any better?
Yeah. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. What I've seen that before from structures like that from Bigfoot. Much larger scale, and that's what I've seen in the years past. It's it's a possible Bigfoot structure, but if it was probably done by a juvenile. That's not something that a big one would do. To be
What do y'all think about it being shoved under the log? That's what I'm curious about.
That's typical.
Is that how it goes? Richard, you've seen, can you hear us now?
Dude, I can hear everybody, but I hear everybody at the same time. Like a conversation you had 2 minutes ago is now happening at the same time old Bear's talking, just happened at the same time Wayne's talking.
That's odd. Yeah. Yep, that's odd. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to move on because that's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting people's opinions. So let's go on to the next video. So guys, let me do this. There we go. The only one that's missing is me. Okay, guys, I want y'all to see this. Coming off the trail, we had just come down that way, coming to the end here of this trail, and I'm going to try to zoom in. There we go. Little spot there, it looks like runoff, and it goes almost straight down right here where I'm at. And that little glimmer you see down there is water. That's the creek that runs through here. Hope it shows up good on the film. But it comes back up this hill. All this ridge right here is basically got a cliff to it on the right. What's really nice about it, they keep this place up and have spotted campsites around here. And you're looking at a flat area here that they keep cleaned off. And what looks like to be maybe a winding trail down there to the creek. That's what they call the end of their property per se. Now they got property here spotted out all over the place, but there are some cutoffs. But what's the most interesting is this. This is right here, right beside it. It's got a nice little awning. It's got a bench set, some rock or bricks, a place for kind of like, it looks nasty to me, but it does go to the ground. A place something like you can at least do food and maybe wash some dishes. I don't know if I would do that. We're still right here beside the cliff. And when I say cliff, it's just basically a good drop off. Very, very good. Matter of fact, I'm not going to show you that for, I don't want to give away the location as of yet. But look at this. Nice little fire pit. They got some wood. And right there. Got some benches to sit around and really enjoy yourself. Come out here and make a good, who knows, possibilities. Plenty of hiding places. So, all right. Spot number one for sure. What do you think about that, Thomas?
I like it.
You like it? That's spot number one, babe. That's where we're going to try to be going camping at.
Works for me.
You seen how it had those drop-offs right there on the back side and on the right-hand side, didn't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting spot. You see it right there by the creek, and everything. Yeah, you catch up
And
with the
plus, it's
chat.
a good avenue of approach for them.
Oh yeah, yeah. What do you think about that spot?
Well, it's a pretty good looking spot there. I don't know how much activity you've had there. I'm sure you've probably done spotted some stuff going on. You should be, you should be right on top of their game yearly, I guess. Hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, Bear, what do you think about the spot?
Well, it sets you up for a good night investigation. You got water there, you got structures, you got that one little small structure, but um, the area seems to be kind of not heavily dense in undergrowth. So if they use the area, it would probably be a hunting situation. You would probably be able to hear them at night quite easily. You're on top of a small hill. So yeah, it should work out pretty good. And it's kind of got you, uh, you're protected on the backside, from the creek and from the hillside. It would take them a moment to get to you if you did something stupid. But that would be a good site to jump off from. Um, and I'm not joking about yeah, you better have your running shoes on, and if it's you and Thomas there, all you got to do is outrun Thomas, Icebox.
That's it.
Sorry, Thomas.
Hey,
There's not.
I can't run anyway, so I guess I just have to stand my ground.
Yeah,
There's not a wrong way to fall off a mountain, right?
No,
you're
hell with
right.
that. Been there,
All
done
right.
that. Won't do it again.
All right. I will show you the next one. All right. So here we go. Let me get over here and. All right. My wife is ever observant. She found this. We found it when we come looking by. Let me zoom in on it. Footprint starts there. It goes up there and it gets deeper right there by that leaf. That little twig goes across, comes down. Try to show you a side view. Not that it's very large, but that heel is awful wide. We thinking maybe juvenile or maybe a female, because it's about 4 foot up. There's another one which the sun is not shining on it now, but I think you can still make it out. Looks like there might be toes and another print, possibly the left foot. Anyway, just something to show you guys. You make your own decision, own conclusions, of course. Okay, what do you think about that?
Send Richard the link.
Send Richard the link. All right, let me post that up. And like I said, guys, anybody else wants to come on, you just come right on. We don't care if you're skeptic or what, or if you got something to say, come on. All we're doing is doing a little research while we're doing all this. Thomas, what do you think about that footprint stuff? Supposedly.
Well, it looks, if I were to take a guess just from the photo, from the video, I'd estimate a 16-inch track. From the way it's in the dirt, estimate 650, 700 pounds. That would be my guesstimate.
Okay. What about you, old bear? What do you think?
Well, you know me. I err on the side of caution. Um, it's a possible track, definitive enough to say it 100% that it is a track. And I always, if there's a little bit of doubt, I don't I don't say it is. And the reason I do that is because you can't see a metatarsal break. You can't see, there's not enough there to see toes definitively and the full shape of the foot. So I have to err on the side of good judgment
There
and
we go.
caution.
There we go. That's all right. Wade, what do you think?
Look like a footprint to me. I mean,
Yep. If you looked at it, and I had to explain to the wife whatever it was, okay. And I'm like you. I'm letting you guys in the chat room decide what these things are, okay. Uh, but in my opinion, it was a footprint. But right to the right of it is another small, like it's half the footprint. And I told my wife, I said, this print and that one that was 4 foot up was both left feet. The right foot was right beside the left foot, and it pushed off on the right to go get the next step. And that's where of course, we lost it. We was just messing around, anyways. Richard, did you happen to see it?
Nope.
Nope. Do you want to see it?
We can move on to the next.
You want to move on to that? Are you okay now?
I just got to do it on my.
Okay.
Like I said, I was getting everybody's conversations at the same time. So.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to the next one. So let me go this route. I'm going to mute everybody again. All right. Didn't walk too far. The camp thing is right up there. I've got mounted on my chest right now. Having to walk, make sure that I don't get into no poison ivy. I don't see a lot on the ground that would give any indications. If you can't see already what I'm trying to go check out, I'm just checking out things that I've heard. I'm not saying that these things are, but it's just kind of curious though, ain't it? I think I see why. It's a bridge here. Why is them trees formed that way? I wonder if that's something that they did, because it don't look like they fell. I don't know if you can see all that. That's beautiful though. Very beautiful. Steps up. Wonder why they made this X. Because it definitely is one. I don't know if I trust that bridge either. It's like half of it is leaning over to the left. All right. That's just neat. This is a neat place. Neat place. I don't know. Okay. All right. What do you think about that, Wayne? And you got to keep in mind, I've listened to a bunch of people, a bunch of shows, a bunch of guys that are sitting here are talking. I'm going by off information that I have heard from a little bit of each and every one, and possibly more. I don't know what that X means, Van. I really don't. I'm not that good. You know what I'm saying? But it was something that we found in the woods, and it just so happened to be right there at one of the entrances across the bridge. So I'm curious to know. I'm sure people walk under it all the time, Brian. I don't know. I'm sure they do. I did. I walked under it. What do you think it means? And let me say something. The X, the roots are in the ground. Okay. The trees are growing this way. I don't know how come they grew that way, is what I'm trying to figure out. Well, then what do you think?
It's muted.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's muted. There we go. Sorry about that, Waddy.
strike one.
Strike one.
Sorry, old bear. I have to get on him sometimes. But anyway, I've I've had X's in my backyard. We all know that. We all have. I mean, I've walked through them, around them, under them. I mean, I never got. It's an X, and I've done stupid stuff, but it's an X. That's just the way it is. An X is an X. I don't. Bear, what'd you say that? What'd you say it was a meaning of showing their territory? Is that what you told me, old bear? Is that what you? Did you tell me that
It's
one time?
an edge of a territory. It's a warning to other Bigfoot and other creatures. They know they do it to signify that it belongs to a certain clan.
That's a theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
What do you think, Richard?
Well, there's roots there, so that tells me that it's natural. If it was moved, you don't find any kind of root system or anything like that, like the branches actually move there, then you have a different story. But the bottom line is any two sticks that fall will form an X, a T, or an L. That's common. That's natural. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're investigating, you got to look around further, just to see if there's other things that say, okay, there's something strange here. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as a marker or saying specific something like O'Bear just did, nobody knows that. Nobody knows. You can have a theory, but it's kind of like the swastika. You look at a swastika, we see that as a bad symbol, but it comes
Mm-hmm.
from Egypt time and it had a totally different meaning. So
Mm-hmm.
you put the meaning into whatever the symbol is and create that meaning. An X to us, we naturally see an X stop always. But does that mean another culture sees an X the same way? See what I'm saying? We
Mm-hmm.
don't, we can just speculate. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay, Thomas.
Well, I would the err on the side of caution. I would have to be there to actually see it, to see to look around the ground to see if it was natural or made that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
And
I'm
that's
going to say.
Well, and that's why I always throw it in there because it did have a ball, or I say it was connected to the ground. It was rooted, and it grew that way. But why? Was it pushed over when it was younger? Was it pushed over as later, or was it just pushed over maybe the last year or two? I don't know.
No,
Okay,
because the actual X's that I have seen is
no roots.
there were no roots. They were jammed in the ground.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Find something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
And
So look,
the ones that jammed in the ground is what they do. But from what you're saying, it's the bottom of it is there's still roots and everything. So it could be like a wind blow or wind blew from different directions and blew them down that way and make it
right.
flip to make it look like an X. But the actual X's, I mean, I've seen X's 30 feet tall
Yeah.
in southern
Okay.
Indiana. I mean, these things are huge. I mean, freshly done. And you know how big a to make those. They need
Yeah. Okay. Kind of
so
lost you there for a little bit.
so I would actually have to actually see the site to make a determination.
Oh, you're
That's
going to
all
see the
I'm
site.
saying.
You're going to see
Okay.
the site. No, I'm not saying it's Bigfoot made. I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there it is. And you're going to see why I say there it is here in just a minute. What do you got, Richard?
How many acres is that?
I don't know.
Who's out there making X's besides them? Y'all actually think two trees are going to fall and make a perfect X? Now it can happen.
Or it can happen. I've seen it a
It
lot.
can happen. But if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet on it.
Now these are not falling. These are not falling. This is still a live tree. Both of them. Okay, and they're right above. If you've seen, you'll see the steps that lead down to the bridge, and they're right there, pretty much at not the beginning of the steps, but kind of halfway down.
Well,
Okay.
it's like today. I was talking to you earlier that I put out my video today. I had two pine trees that are twisted like a bread tie,
Yeah.
just twisted like a bread tie. Okay, and it's pine trees. These are to grow straight up, but they're twisted like both of them just wrapped around each other. And I thought it was odd, it was weird, but Mother Nature does weird stuff. That's a difficult thing to do compared to, see what I'm saying? To me, it's really simple, very, very simple.
Well, I'm gonna get Bear's opinion on this. What do you think, Bear? And keep in mind that it did have roots to it.
Right. I understand that. But here's a couple of clues on more than likely what it was done. First off, it's still on the ground. Most X's that I've found found in the woods or have found next to fields or somewhere where there's issue with a Bigfoot, they're not a full tree. They're not still by the video alone, more like someone went down there, pushed those two trees over to signify that bridge. And that's what I'm not saying they did it, but it looks more like it's human done than it does a Bigfoot, because Bigfoot don't want trees still on the ground. Except for signification of other creatures. And that's what.
Okay. All right. Now, I am fixing to go to the next video because.
Tommy, wait a minute.
That's Icebox to you.
I told you I'd get him back, old Bear. I got him too. Anyway, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway,
go ahead.
I found several things when I was out looking. Have y'all ever saw branches tied in a knot?
No.
Yep.
Have you ever saw them tie? No, old Bear has. Have you ever saw them? Have you ever saw them tie them in actual knots when they're green?
Are you talking branches or are you talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you talking green or wooded?
Green.
Now I've seen green. Yeah.
I've seen.
They take them and tie them in a knot. They tie one knot, they'll tie another knot.
Yeah.
You've never saw that out in the woods. Tell him, old Bear, what we're talking about. Tell him we saw them. I have.
What he's talking about is when you take young trees and they'll break them and take them and tie one into a knot, wove another tree into that knot, tie another knot, and it's like they're making a strand of knots. I've seen it done. I've seen it. I didn't see it done, but I've seen it. A human can do it.
Like that, yeah.
Bigfoot can do it.
Yeah. What was you going to say, Richard?
Oh, I was saying I found stuff that's intertwined. You know what I mean? To hold something down, they intertwine. No knots. It's just how they're woven to support each other. I've seen that, but never knots. If I was out there and saw something that was a knot, knots, I would probably assume a human did it and tossed it to the ground when they were done with it or something like that. Because I've done it as a kid. When you're sitting out in the forest and your kids are hanging out, you find pine needles and stuff. We used to enter home and make whatever wrist bracelets and stuff, and then just toss them to the side because we were done playing with that. You know what I mean? So, like you said, if it could be made by a human, then it could be made by them. Well, just that statement says if it could be by a human, then I have to kind of take that evidence and move it to the side for a little bit until I get something else that's going to actually validate that. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you always have that human aspect. That human aspect is always there.
All right. Now let me give you some human aspect. Okay. I'm going to show the next video. There you go. All right. I hope I don't drop this. Yeah, we're going to try to do the best we can. And I'm going to try to zoom as much as possible, and I'm waiting for the wind to move the leaves and such, because it's kind of in a dark spot. But right down there, right there in the middle of that V, almost just a shade to the left, is a footprint, no doubt. Very wide. I can't get down there because all that is just about straight up and I don't have much to hang on to. Same story this way. I'm not very excited about going down there because it is no print. I can tell that from here, but that is interesting. Have I got everybody back on? Have I got your attention now? Waylon, what do you think of that video?
I'd like you to play it again myself. I'd like to see that again.
Do y'all want to see it again? All right.
Sure.
All right. Let me go through the same process. Got to mute you. All right. I hope I don't drop this. And we're going to try to do the best we can. And I'm going to try to zoom as much as possible. And I'm waiting for the wind to move the leaves and such, because it's kind of in a dark spot. But right down there, right there in the middle of that V, almost to just a shade to the left, is a footprint, no doubt. Very wide. I can't get down there because all that is just about straight up and I don't have much to hang on to. Same story this way. I'm not very excited about going down there because it is no print. I can tell that from here, but that is interesting. Okay, there you go. Now let me explain something to you guys. My wife was with me, and she has had a bad back last week, and I'm not going to get down there and get hurt and expect her to go get help or anything like that in case something was to happen. We went to look for indicators, any kind of evidence, any kind of sign that Bigfoot may be here in northern Indiana. That's what this is all about. Okay. Whether it is or whether it isn't, but we're trying to get you guys' opinion. Okay. I'm not going to go down here and make a cast of this footprint. I don't have to prove Bigfoot. Okay. I know, and probably just as well as all of us on this panel or on the chat room, we know there's a Bigfoot. So I'm not here to prove. I am here to see if Bigfoot is in northern Indiana that I claim that there would, and I find this. What do you think about it, Wayne?
Well, I don't know. You get some pretty good stuff. Looks like. I mean, who said they wasn't in North Indiana? Who said that?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
oh,
I said it. I said it because of the patchy woods up here that don't connect and stuff like that. Well, here goes my ignorance. I run my mouth and I get challenged by old Bear and Tom there. Well, dang it. I mean, so anyways, all right, Tom, what do you think it is?
Interesting. Very intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Richard, what do you think before I go to old Bear?
Well, it's hard to tell from the distance that we're looking at it. I understand why you would go down there. Myself, I would probably have sky rope down there. I would have done something to get down there to get a better look at it because I need the measurements. I need a closer look. I need depth of the print. I need you probably would have seen greater details if you would have got down there. It's kind of hard. You said you're what, 20 feet up?
15 at least. 15
Yeah.
at least.
So it's real difficult to make a judgment on something that far. Interesting, but it's one of those things that's interesting that says, okay, now I need to get down there. I need to find out more
Oh, I
information
know.
on that. You know what I mean? You could have probably hoisted your wife down by rope and then
You don't get me in no trouble. Don't get me in no trouble. No, sir. Not
but
answering that response.
it was just with the shade, the wind's blowing, and stuff, makes it really difficult. there's no way without any absolute certainty I can say what it was, but I would definitely be interested in looking at it, going down there, and like I said, it'd be nice if you casted it, but
Nope, not happening. All right, old bear, what do you think?
Well, it's a very good chance that it is a print because of where it's located. Something like that, they wouldn't use the bridge to cross there. That bridge doesn't look strong enough to hold up a large creature. So it's a good possibility of a print. You've sent pictures of it to me, and I've looked at it, and it looks like a Bigfoot footprint. It shows a metatarsal break in it, but that could be also, the way the sun was on it, anything like that. But it does appear to have a metatarsal break in the pictures that you did send to me. In the video, it makes it real hard to see.
Okay, the reason why I showed the video is because you can see it once you know where you're looking at. Okay, so to show you an example of what you're looking for is that you see the V of the tree or the log to the right and the small branch, and just above that little small branch, kind of to the left of that V, is where the print is made. So now this is a zoomed in shot of that footprint. Okay. Now that's what I sent to Thomas, Richard, and Old Bear, and that's what he's talking about. You want to explain to him what they were looking at? Possibly.
Me?
Somebody.
Footprint.
Thomas, let me go to Thomas. Thomas, what do you think?
I see definition in the toes. Go backwards, see the ball of the foot, and going back, I do see a break, metatarsal break, but that's as far as I can go with it.
Okay. All right, Richard, what do you think?
still not clear enough. I can see where there's a possible heel. It's just still too small for me. I don't see toes. I don't see toes. I'm not seeing where the mid dorsal break is. I see a flat area. I see some ridging on the side, like something definitely pressed there. So it definitely, whatever it is pressed further down than the substrate. But everything else is not clear. It's too far. Like I said, I'm not seeing toes. I'm seeing a mid dorsal break.
Okay.
But I think for a possible heel, instead of the ridge where it's pressed down.
Okay. And that's what caught my eye. I'm an old construction guy, and I know what pressed down looks like. You know what I'm saying? And you could definitely tell that something pressed it down. I kind of wondered why in the world would somebody press something down like that in a creek? It's not a rock that's been moved. There's no rock nearby. Well, then what do you think?
It looked like to me, it sounds silly like to me is that you saw the big toe, but your next toe beside it looked bigger than the big toe to me. I mean, I mean, it did to me. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but that's what it did to me. Yeah, you can see it's a footprint of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't think it's no human being.
Okay. All right, Bear, what do you think?
Well, take the picture and zoom it in as far as I could without it getting pixelated. And that's what I did. I looked at it. You can see what appears to be toes in the picture. And then partway down the foot, close to halfway down the foot where the metatarsal break starts, near where the crack is is break of some type, like it stepped down and then lift the heel and then push down with the front part of the foot. And it is an older print. It's not one that was done in the past 4 hours. The definition is still mostly there, so therefore it's fairly recent, 2 to 3 days, maybe 4 days old,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason I think that is. It's a decent print. It's just you needed to get down there and because you'd have went down there and got it and took an up close picture of it. Yeah, it might have been tough getting back out of there. Real tough. Your wife may have
Oh
had to
yeah,
call the fire department. But
yeah. It
it's something that yeah, I would have scrambled down the bank. I'm an older guy and I'm a pretty good sized guy, and I'd have scrambled down the bank. My wife probably would have called me a tow truck, but I'd have got out of
well, like I said, this was a spur of the moment type thing. I didn't have measuring tape. I didn't have rope. I didn't have none of this kind of stuff. So, there we go. All right, I'm gonna show this last video and see what y'all think of this. Okay. What I done there, uh, playing off of what old Bear done, I went and added contrast, run it through an editing, and tried to add color, zoom in, and everything like that. Did that help you any in your determinations?
I mean, it's still difficult.
Do what, Richard?
It's still difficult. Difficult.
It is.
We've got to put it in perspective that this is a picture from 15, 20 feet away, uh, specific angle. You know, it's just hard that far.
Mhm.
It's down there. I wish it was in a trail or somewhere where
Yeah.
you're through the brush. I really do. So, but down in a ravine and taking photos, it's just I can't get the perspective. See what I'm saying? It's just too far away. You know,
Mhm. Okay.
even oh,
All right. AT says there's two prints. You're gonna have to point out the other one for me, AT. Thomas, with the color adding onto it. And the reason I done that, Barry done it and I couldn't get it on, so I had to go do one of myself. Because when I sent this picture to him, Thomas says, when was this taken? And the story is this, guys, it's my fault. I had the settings on my camera already done and something messed up and I had to go back and do a factory reset. And I didn't have a chance to go back and reset up my camera. So I got what I got. Some of it may be overexposed or something like that where it whites out. Thomas actually thought I took this picture in the wintertime. He thought this was snow on the ground. It's not snow. That's the reason I added some color to it. So maybe you could get a little bit more out of it, maybe not. But this is what's around the toes is not grass, it's not moss, it's the shade. Okay. That's the reason I showed another picture in here. If you go back and look, you will see another picture without the shade being at the toes, and you will understand what I'm saying there. So, Thomas, what do you think now?
Well, looking at it, and plus when you sent me this, I enlarged it as far as I could get it, and it's definitely it's a track.
Hmm.
That's a
It,
There's no doubt about it.
can anybody here on the chat room? We all agree that's a track. AT says it too.
Not a human track, I'll say that.
All right, I'm going to try to see something here. See if I've got this. I'm going to look. AT, you see that circle there right above the log? Is that there where you're talking about right there? just directly to the right, and then we'll take that off.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. It don't make sense to me. I mean, I don't know. You guys are the experts. Uh, but somewhere, is this a left or is it a right foot? Bear, what do you think?
As being left or right,
Looks like
it looks more like a right foot than it is a left.
That's what I thought. Hmm. Richard, what do you think?
I think if it is it's a right foot.
It's a right foot. So that's what the problem is with the other foot on to the right, unless it crossed his legs over for whatever reason. But we all can agree that it is definitely a footprint. Is that right?
You think he jumped 20 feet down there and made that print? Think he jumped off that edge and down in there?
I have no
He or
clue.
she?
I have no
No,
I
idea.
don't think so, but I mean,
I think if something of that nature, it would be a lot deeper because
Right.
you look
Right.
3, 5, 800 pounds, whatever it is. Um, velocity happens very quickly. A ceiling or where the start of your ceiling when you walk to your front door, that's what 8 feet. When you
Hmm.
people don't realize when you jump off that ceiling, you're hitting 40 miles per hour by the time you hit the ground. We used to do it all the time when we were kids. Remember, jump off the roof.
Yep.
You're going at 40 miles per hour. So
Hmm.
if something is 3, 4, 5, 600 pounds and it's further up on that ridge and jumps down, that's a lot of momentum and a lot of weight coming down. So I think the print would be a lot deeper if something had jumped down. If it's a print, and like I said, it's very difficult to tell. I'm not seeing the detail, but it's using that ridge, the base of that ridge as a travel point. It's moving through there. Um, to, like I said, I would need more information just to say one way or another. Right now, I could put it in a classification of very interesting.
Okay. All right. Bear, up to you, babe.
I have to agree with Richard. That from the top, that Bigfoot came down the side, and you have
Hmm.
to remember when it comes to one of these creatures, they got super long arms, a lot longer than what we do, and they can reach trees and use the tree to swing down and everything else. They have the ability to climb trees. They have the ability to wrap around a tree. So yeah, that creature went down in there, and I would say it was probably to find there may have been water in there at one time. I don't know how long it had rained. The closest happened before the print, but it went down in there when that ground was not hard. It's still soft,
Hmm.
and it stepped down in there,
Hmm.
and it was going after something probably to eat. There could
Hmm.
have been a coon skunk down in there, and it swung down in there to grab that for a snack. You never know.
Hmm.
But it did not. It didn't jump from the top. No, it'd have been a lot deeper. It'd have been just deeper.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm gonna tell you just straight up. I was on the bridge coming back across because the wife is on medication, for her stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And she kind of got dizzy when she tried to cross over the bridge, and she turned around and went back. So I come back across the bridge. I already went across it once. And when I come back to get back to her, I just so happened to look down and see this stamp. And that's what I called it at the time. What in the world is they stamping the ground for? I didn't know. It could have been maybe trying to fix the bridge or something. But you're talking about leaning over the right side of the bridge where it's fine. The left side of the bridge slopes down like it's been wore out or something too heavy stepped on it. Who knows? But you know what I'm saying? That's what caught my attention. And being in construction years ago, I said, "Dadgummit, that looks like somebody pressed something down there." And the closer I got to looking at it, I couldn't. You knew what y'all saying, what I was thinking. And if you want to know the truth about it, that length of the footprint from up to down is about 16 inches long. And that's all I can tell you. And that's a guesstimation by the plants that I see. And guys, I am a wannabe herpetologist, if you're gonna call it that. I used to do herb medicines a long time ago, so I know my way around plants and what they are, what they look like. That one plant that is to the left side of that footprint is about 2 to 2.5 inches wide. Okay. I believe it's a black sanicle. I'm not 100% sure, but that plant is all in these woods. That one's about 2 to 2.5 inches wide. You can probably fit 4 to 5 of them in there if that helps you as far as wide across. Okay. So it's going to be anywhere from 8 to 10 inches
Inches
wide.
wide. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be 8 to 10 inches wide.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you in the chat room, anybody that wants to give her opinion, that's fine. Uh, but now, is this area worth checking out?
Sure.
Yeah, well, it's like I have a criteria when I go into an area. It's probably the same criteria for a lot of people. Is there a water source for one?
Mm-hmm.
What is the local animals and stuff like that in the area? I love
Mm-hmm.
it when they have a sign, especially at preserves. They list all the animals that you may see during your
Mm-hmm.
hike. Well, to me, that's a menu. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, now we have all these animals that we know are out here. We have a water source. We have cover. There's a lot of trees and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So you can start formulating this criteria. Say, okay, this is an area that's worth walking in and checking out. Then once you're in there and you start finding certain things that point you in a direction. It's not one thing. I'm not going to research an area because there's a structure. I need a structure, plants, sound. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
start accumulating the evidence that says, okay, now I'm in a viable area. See what I'm saying? So, like I told you on the phone, the next thing I would do if I was you
Mm-hmm.
is find a place out there that's secluded and set out some audio. Find out what you're catching at night. Let's hear what the natural sounds in that area are at nighttime,
Mm-hmm.
and run it out there. Put brand new batteries. Run it out there till the batteries are dead, and so you get a lot of hours out there, and start trying to itemize what animals that you're hearing out there, what sounds you're hearing, and stuff like that, and then you just start going from there. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of my key things is definitely acreage. See what I'm saying? I think
Mm-hmm.
you're more likely to have something of that size and that nature to survive in 1,000 acres compared to 100 acres. See what I'm saying? You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna resources really quick in 100 acres, really quick, even if
Mm-hmm.
it's a creature. But let alone if you're a family unit or something like that, you need more territory and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So find out how many acres are there to give you an idea, of sustainability. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And uh, but I would definitely leave audio equipment as my next step.
Okay. In response to that, Richard, I can't tell you the acreage, but what I can tell you, there's a lot of land. Okay. And I really can't say what I got. I can say not on the air. Okay. Reason being is one, I want to protect the privacy, and two, until I confirm that there is Bigfoot up here in northern Indiana, I'm not going to say where and how much. Okay. So keep that in mind when you. I know what you're saying. They got to have acreage. Okay. Now.
If it has a name of the area, it'll tell you what acreage is. If you Google the name of it,
Yeah.
like Ouija Bongo Preserve. You look up Google Ouija Bongo Preserve, it usually gives
Mm-hmm.
you information and say, well, it's 1 point something, blah 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 acres. So you can look it up and give you an idea of the distance that you're looking at.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. I've told Old Bear and others, you know, there's just too much farmland, too patchy of woods up here, and Old Bear sits there and says, "Yeah, there's Bigfoot in Indiana." Okay, I'm trying to prove, actually, I'm trying to prove Old Bear right. If you want to know the truth about it, it's not so much me. I don't mind being wrong. I just think, okay, if there's going to be a Bigfoot up here in northern Indiana, around where I live, it's got to be in this stretch. Okay. And when I say stretch, that's exactly what I mean. You have to follow that creek, and it goes to other places that I just can't say right now because I'm trying to avoid hoaxes.
Corridor.
Hmm?
It's a corridor. It doesn't
Yep.
just stay in that area. It attaches to other natural
Yep.
areas. It's a
Yep.
corridor. So,
Yep.
yeah, and you accumulate all that
Yep.
area, you know.
Okay. All right, Wade, what do you say?
I don't know.
Well said.
Well, I mean, we know it's a footprint. We know. I just asked that question. Do you think he jumped off, the ledge to go down in there, he or she or the young one or whatever it was? I mean, I don't think that happened either. It would have been a lot deeper. But could you not find just one single footprint was all you could find?
Well, if you
Any
look at
other evidence?
all right, this footprint here is the
Yeah.
one that I found. I didn't see no others. I didn't look for no others because I'd already fixated on this one. Now, what happened in this little excursion? I done this, took the pictures, everything. I walked back up to the wife and I kind of looked around. What it is, it's kind of got like a little finger there. And I started walking one way, and the wife kind of walked right across the rise there, and that's when she hollered for me and showed me these other prints. I kind of put the prints out of order because I knew this would be the most conversation. But yeah, her founding, she found this name her. She found the other footprints after we found this one. Okay, those footprints that she found is leading back up toward the campsite, but it's right across from that bridge. Okay, it's not at the campsite, but it was walking back toward that way, whatever it is. Okay, so.
Well, this definitely a Bigfoot. It ain't no human being out there. I'll tell you that now.
All right, Bear, what would you think? Is this going to be a viable place to research, do some camping, or some recording?
Basically, I've already told you how I feel about it. I've looked at the area. There is multiple reasons to be there. There's wild game
Mhm.
built multiple areas around there. They have TV there, and
Yep.
because of the area, the campsites and things like that, they will sit back, hang back, and watch. If there's there or even adults, they'll sit back and watch it, and it gives them a chance to learn about just because cornfields around, soybean fields, stuff like that. That's food for them. They know where the food's at. They can get to it easily, and they use those wooded. They're not dense wooded areas. They're travel corridors, just like Richard was saying, around those creeks and around fence rows and stuff like that. They use that in the fall when all that stuff starting is where it can be harvested by us. They use that to go get their winter supply of whatever food they need out of there. And it's way too easy for a Bigfoot to traverse late at night when all the farmers and their families and all the workers are asleep. The sparse timber really isn't a defining thing on a Bigfoot that is used to living in northern Indiana. So yes, that area would be worth a camping trip. Personally, be there and light. That's what I would do. I would go to a prominent area in there to where it's sit there in the dark, don't do anything from camp, leave a fire at your camp, a small one so it won't catch the woods on fire, or leave somebody at camp to tend to the fire. See if they come in, and you'll be able to hear them come in. They're super quiet, but you can hear them when they move through the trees and through the woods and everything else. You can hear them. They make mistakes, and they make calls. But
Well,
do
I
what
like the
Richard
spot
said. Put
because
a
of the.
recorder in there.
Well, problem is I don't have one. Okay, maybe my hunting
Right.
partner does. But I like the area for the straight drop off. Anything's going to come up behind us, they're going to make a racket. It may be just a simple tree shake, from grabbing a hold to help get up it, and the same thing pretty much to the right. The main worry of not hearing anything is going to be the left and to straight in front of us. Uh, that's why I like it. At least we got, uh, you know, kind of a early warning system. Let's put it that way. Okay, at least to the left and the back, or to the right and to behind us. Thomas, this is where it really counts. You being my hunting partner, I know you're going to come up here soon enough. And do you like this area? Is this going to be a viable area for you?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
From everything that I have seen of this area, and also looking at topo maps of this area, excuse me, uh, very viable.
Okay.
I think we'll get some good activity here.
Okay. And guys, I'm going to say this much. Activity to me is physical, audio, visual, uh, things that they would do. So now my next step is, all right, we got possible 2 yards. Okay. Could have been made by juvenile practicing, as Old Bear said. Um, we've got the footprint. We've got other footprints. Uh, a strange X, I'm not going to attribute to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is kind of odd. It really is. But it's how funny is that by that X going down them steps, that's where I found the footprint. Coincidence? It could be very much so. But there are enough things here that causes or should have a reaction of, yeah, you do need to check this place out further. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm hoping and I'm excited with Thomas. We're going to find out. We're going to set up a date, and we will be going back out at night. And I don't know if he's got a recorder or not. I do not. Uh, what is it? uh, man, Thomas says he ain't going to lose for no dog man.
See one of those things once, and I don't want to see one again. No, thank
What was
you.
you, what was you going to say, Richard?
Just make sure you do something that you can document. You know, audio, visual, anything like that. Documentation is everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know me.
Yeah.
We've talked.
Yep.
Document. Because if not, if you don't have receipts, then it's just a good story. See what I'm saying? So document. Get that audio recorder. Get it out there. Vocalizations are really cool when you capture something and you're listening and all of a sudden it pops in your ear and like, wow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Catches you off guard. You got the night vision coming in. You know, that'll be a great thing to use out there because it does record. Try to find a thermal if you can get a thermal. I tried to send you mine, but I'm a little stingy. But anyways, but you want what you can to document what you're seeing and what you're hearing and stuff like that. So, and get a journal, write it down, time, date, stuff like that, so you have something.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. We're fixing to get off here. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on here and going through this video with me. I thought it made an interesting thing for the chat room. By the way, Rags and Fitness, I've seen you on here, but hey, it's not going to be long, but we're going to get to do something together. So be patient with me. All right, Waylon, have you got anything else you want to talk about this?
I mean, you got some pretty good evidence there. There's got to be something there somewhere. I mean, go after it. I mean, just be careful in doing what you're doing. Always, I don't know, have you always have your weapon. I think with you is the best thing to do. Sometimes I go out and I don't have anything with me. You know how I am. I won't have a camera, recorder. I won't have anything. So I mean, I don't know. And usually that's when something happens. Most of the time
Yeah.
that's when it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Richard can say, yeah, I ain't gonna pick at you right now, Richard.
It happened to me today in the woods. Yeah, equipment off to break through the bush. All of a sudden, I get something, and I'm like, it's right when I shut things off. But I was lucky enough to catch some nights today and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's important to be recording. You hear people all the time. As soon as you get out of the vehicle, you should have something recording at all times.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Oh, Bear, what you got?
It you've paid a lot of it. I've told you from doing this
Mhm.
so long, and it's time for document everything you see. I don't care if you're using a cell phone. I don't care if it's order. I don't care if you use top of the line camera. Do the best and try
Mhm.
to get things to where you can see people that these creatures are there. But I will caution you: do not take chances just to get evidence. Uh, I used to do that. I paid for it a few times, so don't do it. Uh, so just um, just go out, listen, see what you can get the first night. If you're there 2 nights, second night, whatever, but don't take chances.
Okay.
I'll caution you. That's all I can.
So, in other words, put Thomas in front of me. Is that what you're saying?
Put him in the middle.
Put him
No,
in the
behind me. Yes.
middle. I'm sorry, Thomas.
It's all good, but my thing is, I tell everybody when they go researching, do not become something's dinner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Again, I'm going to tell you, each one of you, thank y'all for coming on with me tonight. I enjoyed this. I was really curious to what people were going to say, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. Everybody in the chat, thank you, guys. Y'all are getting my numbers up there, and it's not all about numbers. It's having some good fun, entertainment, and a good conversation. And I appreciate all of y'all. So, anyways, this is going to be all for tonight. I hope y'all will come back and be with us again next weekend. We do have more guests coming on. So if we enjoyed tonight, y'all come back and see us. Okay. Good night, all.